from on. Heard nothing in the build-up, no beef between you, Oscar, anything. And all of a sudden, I see this comment fly through about losing hundreds of millions, stick to promoting in the UK. Where has this come from? Was that said in private?
And Oscar won. You know, I mean, imagine if you'd have lost. But it's weird, Oscar, because he's like right up my arse in public.
I thought you were good.
Yeah, I mean, we done a head-to-head round the table. We couldn't have been nicer. Loves me, wants to work with me, and then he's like, I don't know, it's really weird. Like, and he wasn't just commenting on my picture. It was like loads of other any picture that I was in. There was one on like Vadim Kornilov, like about Madrimov, going, why is Eddie Hearn involved with this fight? It's like he's my fighter. I mean, but listen, it's flattering, really. It really is, because obviously, if you didn't think I was a threat, why would you even talk about me? So I don't know what it is about me he particularly dislikes, but I really don't have any emotion towards Oscar Delahoya. I think the guy, you know, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's just a little bit obsessed. And, you know, like I said before, I don't know about restraining orders in America and how they work, but you have to start becoming concerned. And I was actually driving up here tonight, and the song came on Stan, you know, by Eminem. And it was like, please don't run on. And the first thing that came into my mind was Oscar Delahoya.
Oh.
So I'm just hoping when I get into the office on Monday, I haven't got a letter from Stan, a.k.a. Oscar Delahoya. But I think he's doing really well. Like, I've never actually said a bad word about him.
Was that said in private between you two at fight week or anything?
Couldn't be friendlier in private. Always. So weird. But listen, I don't know.
In terms of...
Let me counterpunch. Eddie Hearn, you know, is responding to the behavior of Oscar De La Hoya. Okay. And like he said, well, hey, I don't have any problem with Oscar personally, privately. I haven't talked to him. We haven't had any DMs and stuff like that. But when it comes to the public view on things, Oscar, yeah, he's up Eddie Hearn's ass a lot. You know what I mean? And it is weird, and it's definitely obvious. It's an obvious thing here. Now, I'll say this, okay? When it comes to Oscar and Eddie, you know, I think, me personally, you know, they did the head-to-head and stuff like that. They should be working together. I thought all that was over with, because you do know that when Turki Al-Sheikh start dropping these venues, dropping these fights in like by the abundance, you know, I thought that Oscar was like, well, let me go ahead and fall in line and get some of this Saudi money, because we have a Mongol over here that's making fights happen, and he doesn't care how they get made, and we're all going to get paid.
Ooh, bars.
That type of situation. But obviously that's not the case, because like Eddie said, Oscar and Ryan, their side, Golden Boy, won. And imagine if he did lose. I mean, how would he be acting? And it's like that. And my question to Oscar is, what are you mad about? I don't get it. Like, I don't get the angle. Like, you know, maybe he's trying to rub it in. You know, maybe that. Maybe it's the alcohol or whatever else is talking through Oscar. Because Oscar's probably he's probably binging again. Let's be real. I think Oscar De La Hoya has that Tyson Fury effect. Once you do really well, then all these things come back, and then the justification for, you know, drinking in excess or partying in excess, all those things become they're pushed to the forefront. You know what I mean? And that may happen with Oscar De La Hoya. You know, he's just rubbing it in, and it's just alcohol talking. Let's take, for example, Ryan Garcia's dad, right? Where he was quick to like, F you, you know what I mean, to Eddie and stuff like that. And then he had to kind of come down off that whatever, cloud or whatever that was he was on, you know, to realize like, oh, okay, yeah, it's all good, you know. And that may be Oscar, but no, maybe not. Because Oscar's been talking this way about Eddie for a long time. And obviously, I do agree, if Oscar De La Hoya thought that Eddie Hearn wasn't anybody or no threat, he wouldn't be talking about him. But it's almost like he is talking about him too much. Now to go far to that song by Eminem, Stan, which is a kind of creepy song about a obsessed guy over another guy, I wouldn't go that far. However, it is an overstressed analogy, right? Simply because, Oscar, you can't shut up about Eddie Hearn. A lot of people said, man, you love Eddie Hearn. It's like, well, no, obviously, Oscar loves Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? This ain't about Kurt. This is about Oscar talking about Eddie too much. You know what I mean? Because you're fighter one. So the last thing you want to do is bring attention to a promoter and his fighter that lost, and all you can do is talk about that fighter and that promoter, better yet, the promoter. And it's like, okay, what's that about? So there is definitely jealousy there because there is competition. And competition is the worst enemy of peace. You know what I mean? That's all it is. If you're that competitive and if it consumes you, you can't be happy. You know what I mean? Because you're on that wave of competitiveness, and that wave is no good for you. And that may be Oscar Delahoya too.
Bars.
But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn responding to the criticism, the obsession of Oscar Delahoya. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.